So this is Calvin, and he does an incredible job at preserving ayahuasca in the Peruvian jungle. And I'd like him to tell us a little bit about that and also guide us to see a nursery.
So just this year, 2016, we've started our own project here at Santuario Huistin. We're starting our own ayahuasca project. And what the idea is, instead of importing all this ayahuasca into this center, which goes through a fair bit of ayahuasca every year, we want to produce our own. We want to plant the whole mountain. And eventually, we want to begin supplying other centers in the nearby area. Today, we'll talk a little bit more about how to grow ayahuasca, what's happening to ayahuasca in the jungle, and we can show you how to cook ayahuasca, we can show you how to plant it. We'll show you everything you need to know about ayahuasca today.
So Calvin has agreed to show us everything we need to know, especially for the tourists who sometimes maybe feel guilty about coming here because they hear about the ayahuasca tourism. Am I doing something wrong? Well, no, if you come and you know the truth about ayahuasca and the Peruvian jungle and the right way to treat it, then you can actually help, and Calvin will show us how.
So let's go, follow me, and I'll take you on this journey today.
So this is ayahuasca.
This is cielo ayahuasca. You can see the nature of this plant. It's very wild, it's very opportunistic. It's crawling up this tree here, this shrub comes from the ground here. You say, well, Calvin, how old is this vine? I'm not going to tell you that it's 8 years old or it's mature. It's maybe about 5 years old. It's thin in nature. You can cook ayahuasca such as this. You can plant it, but it's better to cook, or it's better to plant when it's more has a thickness such as this here. I don't know if you can see that. That's what we're aiming for here.
So it's that kind of a thickness.
And what eventually we're going to be doing is we're going to be planting our own ayahuasca. Like I said, the vine is very opportunistic. You plant it in the soil and it crawls. It crawls and it spreads like wildfire. It's going to find that tree. You can plant it away from trees. It's going to crawl, and it's going to send something that it can grow up on, that it can thicken out on. And, yeah, this is ayahuasca. I'll take you across the river now, and I'm going to show you where we cook ayahuasca, where we've started to establish our first nursery here.
By the way, this is the boiling river. You can actually boil eggs in it.
Check this out. This is the infamous boiling river here at Santuario Huistin. There isn't another river like it in the world. Like Anca said, you can cook eggs in this thing. It's 2 degrees short of boiling. It's like this all year round. In the winter season, sometimes we're blessed. The rains will come in, really neutralize it, and sometimes we can go swimming. It's a real treat.
We were told that we really have to respect the river because if your foot goes in it, you will burn. So every time you cross it, when you step on the stones, you have a deep respect. So Belisario, he's in the red?
No, he's gone this side.
Belisario is the one who actually cooks the ayahuasca because it cooks for 3 days.
He'll be with us shortly, and we'll have an interview with him, and he'll give us the lowdown on exactly how to do it and everything like that.
So this is where it happens.
Right now we have a fresh pot of ayahuasca on the stove. To the right here we have some ayahuasca that's been cooked already, but we're refining it, boiling it down, and that's how we get that real molasses texture, taking all the water out of it. This evening, it won't be ready by Wednesday. This will be ready.
So this has to boil for 3 days?
The first stage is 3 days. The second stage is there. Yeah, medicine.
So, regarding ayahuasca in the jungle and its availability, what is the status today?
Well, right now with the demand of ayahuasca in Peru and around the whole world, a lot of the ayahuasca that's grown naturally here in the jungle, it's being cut back more and more. A lot of the people that live in the communities, they're not taking the time out to replant it for practical reasons such as lack of time. They're busy with other forms of work, or the lack of the funds to do this, to replant. And more and more ayahuasca is not just being drinking in the jungle, it's being taken in the Andes Mountains, it's being taken into Europe, it's being taken into India. And it's a bit of an epidemic, and it's just going to keep growing exponentially. And it's really important for people to start realizing this and planting more ayahuasca, because so many people benefit from it. And it'll be a staple medicine for years. It'll be important for years to help the general population to cure the people of the world.
And you're involved in that process, right? You've been here for 3 years and you just started a nursery?
I've been here for 3 years, and this is the first year where I've sat down with Maestro and I said, I want to plant ayahuasca. Let's do it this year. He said, yeah, no problem. So we came to an agreement, and just behind us here we have about 300 kilos right now waiting to sprout out of the ground. And about a few weeks from now we're going to move it into the mountain, and we're going to start planting the mountain that surrounds this beautiful center here at Santuario.
And Calvin has experience in planting trees from BC. You used to work in that domain, right?
That's right. I've been planting trees out in British Columbia, which, if you don't know, that's on the west coast of Canada, for 5 years now. I've always liked this field of work. It's simple. It's challenging. I feel connected with nature all the time. And it just happened to be that this passion translated here into the Amazon, and I really couldn't think of a better way to spend my time, to dedicate my time on Earth, is to plant here in the jungle. It's a dream come true.
So we're gonna see the nursery. You can show us a bit about what kind of conditions ayahuasca needs to grow. And you said to me yesterday that you think that 90% or 95% of it will.
I think I went as far as saying 99% will grow. I just have the feeling. But you guys will follow me back in here, and there's three sections, there's 3 coves where we have it all laid out and set up, and I'll take you back there right now.
Okay.
About a week ago we came in here, just literally behind our ayahuasca shop. Real convenient. And we began to clean out all the trees and the brush and stuff, allowing the sun to come in through here. If you follow me, I'm going to show you exactly what's going on here. You're going to have to get close, but there's no snakes, so come right in. What we've done here is we've taken the vines and we've cut them into pieces like this. And under this leaf here, under what I'm calling ayahuasca food. We have the vines set side by side. I don't want to disturb it too much, but if you get in close, you can see ayahuasca here kind of submerged in this forest material, this decay.
So it's just right at the surface, like.
It's just right at the surface. And this is to initiate growth. When they start to sprout, when they get about this high, about 7 inches high, we're gonna eventually transplant them. It hasn't rained for a few days, and if maybe tomorrow, the next day, we'll get a good rain, and it'll really soak up this matter here and keep the moisture in the vine and really initiate some growth here.
Where will it be moved?
It will be moved on the other side of the river. You can see somewhat of the mountainside from the house where we stay at and eat. We planted this, well, we did this no more than 4 days ago. So there's still some time for it to grow. We're thinking 3 weeks it'll be ready. By the time everybody comes back from New Year, we'll be ready to plant it.
So in the nursery, it's basically vines that are cut into smaller pieces?
They're about 12 inches long, stacked side by side. We have here 300 kilos right now under these makeshift shade tents, side by side.
And this is to protect?
This is to give it shade from the sun, and it's also to...
So you need some sun, but not too much.
Yeah, you obviously want a little bit of sun shining through. You don't want too much. Right now we're in the month of December, going on January, and this is a real optimal time to start planting ayahuasca. We're in the winter season, meaning we're in the rainy season. And this is the best time to start any type of large-scale growing. In the winter season here, it probably rains 2 times a week. The rain is very heavy. Opposed to in the summertime, it's a couple times a month. It's not too much. The idea is when you first start planting anything, trees, other medicinal plants, ayahuasca, you really want the vine to slowly get used to feeling more sun. So here we have a structure, it's not completely covered, there's light that can still come through. Eventually when we do transplant, they're going to be right out in the open and exposed to the sun.
So this gives it just the right amount of sun for now.
For now, yeah. Eventually when we do make the transition into where they're going to be living in the mountain permanently, we're going to have to carry water on our backs and water them every day. Now the optimal thing is, you water it for a week off of water, and you go back, you stagger it like that, kind of tease it for water, encourage it to grow. And this is planting ayahuasca. It's a lot of work, it takes a lot of care, but it's got to be done, and it's worth it, and it's exciting work. It's really fulfilling. I want to show off what I have here. I got 2 more huts just like this. And after that, we can sit down and talk with the maestro of cooking ayahuasca, and he'll give you the lowdown on exactly how it all goes down. Follow me. I'm going to explain you a little story about what we did here, because we had to redo it. So for the first few days, we were making shelves, kind of like trenches, and we're stacking the ayahuasca one by one, side by side, just under here. And I was sleeping at night and couldn't get to sleep. I just wanted to tell my worker right away. The next morning I went up to him, I said, "Hinder man, look, I think this soil that we planted this ayahuasca in, it's not porous enough. It's almost like clay. As you can see here, you observe me play with the stuff. It's really just not ideal. It's not sandy. It's it's really would make it tough for any new sprout to kind of come through the soil. So the next day I said, Hinder, we got to redo this. That's exactly what we did. We took off like 2 inches of this clay from on top of our vines here, and we just replaced it with leaves. And, you know, for being the first time that we did this, we're not going to be as dialed the first time as we're maybe going to be the second time we do it. But the idea is we're going to have this science perfected, so that growth rate will be 99%. You know, I still have, I'm still very sure that it'll get to 99% because we caught the problem early enough, literally the next day. And I'm very happy with how my guys have worked with me, and very happy with how everything's going, and I'm looking forward to seeing some produce here.
And this is great information for anyone who tries to grow ayahuasca, and to be careful about the soil as well and not covering it up too much.
Yeah, and I want to shine some light because this is not the only way you can plant ayahuasca, but when we're starting to plant, if you're an individual who wants to plant a bunch of it, you know, this is a good option because you can really like isolate it down, you can stack them, make sure you can carry each one, opposed to just like dispersing it in the jungle and kind of just hoping that it grows, you know. No, what we're doing here, we're taking it step by step, we're prepping the land, and you know, I think this is the way to do it. We're planting it in soil. We're planting in soil it's very granular, it's almost like sand. And yeah, I'm looking forward to see how it turns out.
So in about 3 weeks, you'll move it?
About 3 weeks from now, we'll move it, and we'll move it very carefully. And
What do you mean by carefully when you move it?
Well, I just want to make sure that no damage is done during the transplant. You know, I don't want to have any of these baby vines broken.
Are they very delicate, the baby vines?
Yeah, I imagine so. I have planted other medicinal trees and plants here, and just like the first like few inches of growth, you know, they can be very susceptible to like the wind or like a bird like falling on it and breaking a branch, or even an insect eating through it. So like what I'm gonna do is, and I don't really know another way, is I'm gonna stack them on a tarp side by side, and I'm gonna carry it with another guy very carefully, like 20 at a time maybe, and I'm gonna take them up this mountain, and we're gonna plant them there.
Now we're back from the nursery to the hut.
Let's go have a word with Belisario, the maestro of cooking ayahuasca here at Santuario.
So as we saw earlier, in the pot, there's 3 kilograms of ayahuasca and 2 kilograms of a different plant. Can you tell us about this plant?
This is, what we have here is Chakruna. Now, there's a lot of misconceptions and there's a lot of kind of confusion about what is Chakruna? What's in ayahuasca? What are they cooking here? Well, let me explain you something that will make sure that you know exactly what this is, what we drink down here in South America. The vine itself contains an MOA inhibitor, it's called. What this does, it prevents an enzyme in our stomachs from breaking down what is contained here in that Chakruna. In the Chakruna, it contains a very potent molecule of DMT. Now, there's DMT exists in all plants and all living organisms, but in this one it's especially potent, and it works very well with ayahuasca. When cooking pure ayahuasca, we want nothing but Chakruna and the vine in our ayahuasca. There's a lot of people, a lot of curanderos from the Amazon, the region, a lot of people that don't really know what they're doing. They're putting, you know, things like Toei in the ayahuasca. They're putting other plant medicines in the ayahuasca. You know, they're putting whatever, you know, they're putting water in their ayahuasca. No. This is how we make pure ayahuasca. We let the ayahuasca vine work in our stomachs, prevent that enzyme from breaking down what this Chakruna has to offer and what Chakruna has to offer, it makes you, it's the, what contains here, it makes you feel mareado, meaning it makes you feel dizzy, makes you feel nauseous. It gives you the effects that many people are looking for. It makes you break through visions. You feel high in your body, you feel high in your mind, you feel connected with the people sitting beside you. This is ayahuasca here. This is Chakruna. Chakruna, we can even spell it for you. Chakruna. Chakruna. Mariri.
They do say that the ayahuasca is not just an enzyme inhibitor in itself. It does contain spirits of its own, and even taken by itself causes some kind of visions, black and white.
Absolutely. Ayahuasca, another name for ayahuasca, Madre Ayahuasca. Mother Ayahuasca. She's a feminine spirit. She's very nurturing and in her energy, in her way.
Is ayahuasca safe?
Absolutely. But let me tell you it very clearly. It must be taken with a lot of respect. And you have to make sure you're drinking in the right setting with the right people. Ayahuasca is the best psychotherapeutic medicine in the world. And I've met countless people who come down here into centers or traveling the world, and they don't really seem to have the right idea about ayahuasca. They seem to think it's some sort of recreational method of having a good time. It's absolutely false. And if you take this mentality into drinking ayahuasca, you're going to be humbled very quickly. Ayahuasca is a plant that's been used for thousands of years by the indigenous people that have lived here in South America since before the white people even came here. What we practice here in ceremony is very indigenous. The way we act, we show a lot of respect. There's no talking, there's no interruptions. We're not shining lights. We take it very seriously. We make sure what we're eating is right for the ayahuasca. We're prepping our bodies. Even long after we finished our last cup of ayahuasca, we're still making sure we're following our diet and everything. As more and more people come down to South America, it just needs to be reiterated more and more. And this is to ensure that people have good experiences. They're not damaging themselves with the medicine. They're not getting carried away.
Well, Peter was talking about that earlier, that in the 60s, that's exactly what happened. It was misused, the power of psychedelic drugs and the good effect that they could have had on humanity and consciousness kind of got wasted on its recreational use. And this time around, through ayahuasca, there's also a lot of sacredness involved in using it, administrating it, and the ceremony and the guides, the maestros that sit with you. So there's a lot more effort involved in discipline and seriousness and preparation. So you can't really use it recreationally.
No, you can't. And you're not going to get ayahuasca is a great tool, and you can't really get the most out of what you can get from it without pure intention of healing or learning, and I say no more. I'm sure I'll have this conversation again. It's up to me to continue to reiterate this to people that come down here, but it's good that we're sharing and we're talking about it, because it's very important. It's very important. We kind of want to change the stigma that exists in the world today about, ayahuasca is dangerous, what are you doing? You're going to the jungle, this retreat to get high. It's like, no, it's much more than that. And people need to start realizing, like I said, it's the most powerful psychotherapeutic medicine in the world. And if you want the results, then you got to put in the discipline, like you said. You got to put in the work, do a little research. When you come down here, Santuario or another center, but come to Santuario because this is the best one in the world.
people like myself will be here to walk you through your experience, and you'll just have an excellent time, and you'll learn so much about yourself, and you'll learn so much about the world.
Can you recommend some books for people who are thinking about coming here and want to study before?
I can recommend books for sure. There's a few that come to mind. I know my favorite book that I once read back a few years ago. It's called Spirit of the Shuar, and it talks about the people and how the medicine, they use it in their lives. Just real tribal. Out of all the books I've kind of read, this one's kind of like authentic. If you're looking for books that are kind of like really kind of walking you through like the basics of like visions, or curanderoism. I'm not going to use the word shamanism because that word is foreign here in South America. Books, I want to say look up some clips, some speeches, some podcasts on Dennis McKenna. They're big spokespeople. They're the ones that, those two, and even Joe Rogan, they really got me into thinking differently about these mind-altering substances.
Also, Graham Hancock. I've been watching him before coming here, and he was on Joe Rogan. And it was quite extraordinary. He was talking about his misuse of cannabis for 20-something years, and how ayahuasca taught him that he did not respect that other plant. Really hot. I'm gonna wear my shoes next time.